everybody at the high table. I have not found any low table. I have only requested the permission of the bride, the bridegroom, and the parents to have the few ladies and gentlemen around them. So at this point, I would invite to the attention of the audience my very distinguished Senator Victor Akan, who chairmans this occasion tonight. Senator Akan, can you please present yourself? Thank you very much, Senator Akan. Having presented Senator Akan as the chairman for tonight, I wish now to hand over the proceedings of this sitting to Senator Akan, and we shall give all the necessary advice and backing. Thank you, Mr. Senator.
All is now set for this grand reception at the Paradise City Hotel, and now we see the bridal train.
Bishop Calabar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this reception for Mr. and Mrs. Charles Archibong. At this juncture, I wish to respectfully invite Bishop Isanga, Bishop Calabar, to please open this with a prayer and also to bless the cake. My Lord, the Chief of the Bishop of Calabar.
Of the Holy Spirit, Amen. In the church, dear Lord, we broke the bread, we blessed it and distributed in honor of these two couples you have blessed, whose marriage you have blessed. We gather here in this place also to share with the food of the body, to strengthen our bodies, that we will better serve you in this world. Stretch your invisible hands and bless this cake, the first food that we will share with the married couple. May it give them strength of body, may it embolden them, strengthen their faith in the sacrament of matrimony, and may give us the joy of supporting and encouraging them, and the joy of seeing them succeed here and hereafter. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen. And the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
They're probably counting at the end of the counts. The counts will be 3, and what you would like to do is to listen carefully, because 3 could be 1, and then you call at the count of 3. We're going to see who is the most powerful at this point. And we have the judges all around. So, 2, 1, 3. The chairman knows who won. Who says so.
Lord the Chief Judge, the Lordship, the Bishop of Calabar, eminent ladies and gentlemen, may I very respectfully invite you all to please rise so that we toast His Holiness the Pope John Paul II. Thank you.
The Pope.
The toast is to His Holiness Pope.
Juliet,
My Lord the Chief Judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, guests, I feel highly honored and pleased to be called upon to propose this toast of the bride and bridegroom. Indeed, I think it should be a very easy task because the bride is known to me and the bridegroom is somebody I have known very well. For the bit by telling us very little about them. The bride, Miss Juliet Archibong. I feel very fond of calling her Julie. In Calabar, had his early education in Calabar and in England. He returned to continue in Calabar and Lagos for the second section law school, and he successfully concluded it and was called to the bar in 1978. He is currently working with a firm of solicitors in Lagos. That's about the special things people may know about them. Now, all the moral and spiritual virtues enumerated by my Lord Bishop about the parents of the wedding couple, they are humble. But Charles confided in me and told me he was lacking affection, moments of doubt and tension. But love was so strong that he sealed up all the loopholes and excluded all the doubts. Prosperity and all good things for the progress and good of the marriage between Charles and Juliet Archibong. Ladies and gentlemen, give me right.
Before I invite Charles Archibong to respond to that toast, may I appeal to those who have presents for the bride and bridegroom to please bring such presents here. We will devote 5 minutes for that exercise. Thank you very much.
given by none other than our respected chairman for this occasion. He feels that the young couple need some rest after this whole exercise. The hustle and bustle of getting organized and getting themselves sorted out, it's not been easy. So this young couple have been given a holiday, a honeymoon in San Francisco in the United States of America. They are going to stay in one of the poshest hotels in that great city. But that is only the beginning. And I am told that when they come back, we've heard one of them is a lawyer, the other one is a psychologist, and they are already working. It is very likely that they already have their vehicles that move around, but they are based in Lagos. And as you know, there is this odd and even number. It's not very clear now which one they have, whether it's the odd number they have or the even number. But Senator Victor Akan, the chairman for this occasion, has also already paid for a vehicle which will be delivered to the couple in Lagos. They will have one Volkswagen Passat TS to be delivered by Niteco Nigeria Limited for them in Lagos as they get back. So give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. I don't think that the couple can ask for anything more. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give Senator Victor Akan another big hand again. Give him a big hand.
No,
My Lord the Chief Judge, Your Lordship the Bishop Calabar, I want to say that I really do not think that the announcement was necessary, but one very important thing has come out of that, and that is when you applauded, Honorable Onunokono also did the same. And so I say that I said I did not need people to clap hands for me. I need votes.
I give you.
Who represents the Unity Party of Nigeria in the House of Representatives, whether I can count on his votes. And I'm glad to say that the honorable member has very kindly agreed to give me his votes.
Sure. And you give me yours?
Not only that, I also hope that he will tell his supporters to give me their votes. My Lord the Chief Judge, my Lordship the Bishop of Calabar, I now have great pleasure in inviting Charles Archibong, who, like myself, attended St. Gregory's College, which Mr. Morris Ayomba unfortunately left out. So before I now ask Charles to respond to the toast, and I also say to Charles, operate.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to start by thanking the chairman for his very generous gifts and the spirit in which they've been given. I'd like to say also that considering some of the history of our family and my relationship with the chairman, there couldn't have been any other chairman for this occasion. I would like to thank him very much. Now, coming to the response to the toast proposed by Mr. Morris Ayomba, I would like to say that at this stage in our lives, there's not much praise to be given to either of us that will be too, should I say, too due to us. We are still starting, we are about starting. All we have done is to try and follow in the footsteps of those who have come before us. Both my wife and myself. When you have wonderful parents such as ours, it's difficult to go wrong. In fact, we have ourselves to blame if we do stray too far. Most of my life, marriage seemed a fairly intellectual proposition. Someday, it will happen. But it did seem quite far away. Up to indeed 4 years ago, it seemed quite far away. Well, the idea started to take real root when my dad sat me down one day about 3.5 years ago. He had he'd seen somebody come and go.
Too many people. Too many.
And he was wondering actually what was the status of this relationship. And he wasn't too keen on the particular individual. So he said, look, before you look, what is happening? I said, nothing much. So he told me to make sure the other person concerned knows that there's nothing much happening. So I said, well, I'll make it clear. In fact, I've already made it clear to the person involved. Well, be that as it may, it was an idea then. I counted by saying that, look, it's not easy, you know. It's not easy to, find somebody in this day. All these girls seem to be fast and loose. I'm prepared to take my time. Told me I had no time. You're an old man, my friend. You better hurry up and locate somebody. If you have a mind for it, you'll find somebody. So the idea was planted. I was just about finishing school, my degree. So I said, okay. Then I went to law school, primarily to get admitted to the bar. Other things happened. First of all, I fell in love with a family. Then I fell in love with a girl. I'd like to place on record that never before had I felt so drawn to a home as Juliet. Before I even saw her. There again, there were so many beautiful things inside. There was a bit of a time making up my mind. When I did see her, there was no doubt left. But still, the story didn't end there. I was going so fast that suddenly I halted myself. I said, what's happening? Do you know where you're headed? There can only be one logical conclusion. Are you ready? Well, the bachelor part of me started to apply brakes small. Small. So I decided to make myself scarce for some time. A decision to make myself scarce for some time. Believe you me, during the time I was scarce, I was hardly me or the person I was before. So I said, look, you've gone this far. You're not the same person as you were before. And you haven't decided what you're going to be. Come a little closer again and see what happens. When I went closer again, I was hooked for good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have never been in doubt since I met Juliet, except very briefly and the briefness of the doubt goes to establish that, well, it wasn't the person concerned, but the idea of marriage that was scary. Having met her, I had no doubt in my mind that this is the girl I would like to stand in front of everybody and say, here is my wife. I'd also like to thank many friends, relations, who have helped to make this day what it is. I really feel proud to be associated with these people, and also assure them that we will do everything to reward the confidence which you have placed in us, and also to lead lives which, to the best of our ability, are exemplary lives. Thank you very much for your support. I would also like to thank you for all these presents which I can see here, and those which are still in the showroom. Those in the house, we have many at home. Those who didn't want to log it along, we have many back at home. We also have many here. We have one on wheels, and then we also have a ticket, a couple of tickets, which we hope will provide us with an atmosphere for romance. Thank you very much.
Distinguished and eminent ladies and gentlemen, after that very refreshing speech by Charles, I now have been requested to invite you to please ask for refreshments. There will be some music. Practicing architects easily one of the best designers and planners in this part of this country, my Lord the Chief Judge of Cross River State, Your Lordship the Bishop of Calabar, distinguished and eminent ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Architect Juliet Archibong to propose the vote of thanks.
to give a vote of thanks to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank you and congratulate you for your patience and for your orderly conduct, not only in the church but out here. I want to thank you especially for that, because without order, the ceremony would have been a failure. I want, in a special way, to thank His Lordship, the Bishop, for not only performing the spiritual aspects of this ceremony, but for joining with us in the social aspect also. As you have heard, 2 weeks ago, we celebrated the Silver Jubilee of his priestly ordination. And I dare say this is the first wedding ceremony that he has performed after that glorious celebration. So we feel very honored and grateful to his Lord. I want to assure him that as usual we shall vote for him. I want also to thank all the officials, the bride, the chief bridesmaid, and the best man, the sponsors, and many other people who have helped to make this a success, especially those who have worked behind the scene. I want to thank all of you. And for those of you who have come from far and near, and who have brought their good wishes and presents to this ceremony, I want, on behalf of the families of Charles and Juliet, to say a big thank you. May God bless you all.
My Lord the Chief Judge, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have been requested by His Lordship, the Bishop of Calabar, Dr. Brian Zanga, to say that he has a present for the bride and bridegroom.
Right, and I want you to keep it and pray always. A luminous rosary to the bridegroom, be a head and a leader as your father, your grandfather, and your uncles. May God bless you.
Your Lordship, the Bishop of Calabar, first I want to thank Dr. Brian Zanga for the present given to the bride and bridegroom. I assure you, sir, that they are both very grateful. Before the next item, I want to say that I recognize the presence here amongst us of some very eminent Nigerians, and that in order not to sound in the introduction that we jumped the introduction in this gathering because we thought that there were too many eminent people. But I think one must give recognition to the presence here of the Special Assistant to the President of this country. One must give recognition to the presence of Chief N.U. Apan, to the presence of Chief Nsefa, to the presence of Honorable Peter Anya, member of the Cross River State House of Assembly, a member of my party. All of them are present here with their wives, and their wives are equally important. The presence of Chief EFIONG, the presence of the Special Assistant, no it's not, the Special Advisor to the Governor of this state on Assembly Matters, Mr. Patrick Andem, there is of course Dr. James Henshaw, mentioned the fact that Honorable Nukono representing Oron 1 constituency in the House of Representatives, is also present. If I have not, oh, ladies and gentlemen, I almost forgot. There's of course present here the bridegroom's uncle, the Honorable Committee gentleman. Oh yes, Chief Donald Furukuma is present, also present here. There's Mr. Chief Okun, who has recently become a director in the office of the president. I think I have to stop here. And if I have not mentioned a name, it is not because you are not eminent, it is because I have not seen you. My Lord the Chief Judge, the Lordship the Bishop of Calabar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the bride and bridegroom will now depart.
And so with the blessings of God and the good wishes of friends and relatives,